When the stars went silent, the year was 2847, and the galaxy was dying. Not from war, not from plague, but from something far worse: silence. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Luna Station, watching the holographic star map flicker with red zones. Each red marker represented a system that had gone dark in the last month. No distress signals, no final messages, just nothing. Another one, Lieutenant David Martinez reported, his voice heavy with exhaustion. A blue dot on the map turned red. The Vega system, home to 3 billion Saurians. That makes 17 systems this week. Sarah's jaw tightened. The Saurians were warriors, their fleet second only to the Dominions. If they couldn't stop whatever was out there, what chance did anyone have? The door hissed open behind her. Admiral James Walker entered, his weathered face grim. "The Galactic Council just sent their final transmission," he said. "They're evacuating to the Andromeda Galaxy. All member species are ordered to follow." "And Earth's response?" Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. Walker's eyes hardened. "We stay." The decision had been unanimous. While the Krell packed their high ships, while the Zentari loaded their generation vessels, while the proud Dominion fled with their tails between their legs, humanity chose to remain. Earth would not run. The first sign of the enemy came 3 days later. Deep space sensors picked up an anomaly moving through the Oort cloud. It wasn't a ship in any conventional sense. It was a distortion, a wrongness in space itself. Where it passed, matter simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not converted, erased. Dr. Elena Volkov, Earth's leading genophysicist, studied the readings with growing alarm. "It's not using any known physics," she reported to the Emergency Council. "It's like reality itself is being edited." "Can we fight it?" General Park asked bluntly. Elena hesitated. "We don't even know what it is. The readings suggest it's not entirely in our dimension. It exists partially in what we call null space, the void between realities." The name stuck. The Void Plague, they called it. And it was heading straight for Earth. Humanity had faced extinction before. Climate change, nuclear war, plague. Each time, they had adapted, survived, evolved. But this was different. This enemy didn't want to conquer or destroy. It wanted to unmake. In underground bunkers across Earth, scientists worked frantically. Old technologies were dusted off, experimental weapons activated. The orbital defense grid, built to protect against asteroids, was reconfigured. Every human colony from Mars to Titan was fortified. The first contact came at midnight, Greenwich Mean Time. Every screen on Earth displayed the same image, a writhing mass of shadows that hurt to look at. When it spoke, it didn't use words. Instead, concepts forced themselves into human minds. "You are chaos. You are disorder. You must be corrected." The message was clear. Humanity's very existence offended this entity. Their creativity, their unpredictability, their stubborn refusal to follow universal patterns, all of it was seen as a cancer in the orderly universe the Void sought to create. Sarah stood in Earth Command as the entity's message echoed through every mind on the planet. Around her, people clutched their heads, some falling to their knees, but she remained standing, teeth gritted against the alien presence. "Get out of my head," she snarled. To everyone's surprise, the presence recoiled slightly. For just a moment, the pressure lessened. Sarah's defiance had done something the entity hadn't expected. It had pushed back. Admiral Walker seized the moment. "All stations, activate neural shields. If this thing wants a mind war, we'll give it one." Across the solar system, humanity's greatest weapon came online. Not guns or missiles, but will. Pure, stubborn, human will. Billions of minds linked through quantum entanglement, forming a barrier of chaotic thought that the orderly void couldn't comprehend. The entity paused at the edge of the solar system. For the first time, in its eons-long existence, It had encountered resistance, not the organized defenses of the Dominion or the hive mind unity of the Krell, but something messier, more unpredictable. Human minds, each one different, each one refusing to submit. In the depths of the Pacific, ancient machinery stirred. Project Pandora, humanity's last resort, began its awakening sequence. Built with technology reverse-engineered from a crashed ship found in Siberia centuries ago, it was humanity's ace in the hole. Dr. Volkov monitored the readings. It's working. The void is actually hesitating. Why? General Park demanded. Elena's smile was grim, because we're not playing by the rules. Every other species tried to fight it with order, with logic. We're fighting it with chaos. The void's response was swift and terrible. Reality itself began to warp around Neptune. The ice giant's atmosphere boiled away, its moons crumbling to dust. But humanity didn't flinch. They had expected losses. They had prepared for sacrifice. From Mars, the first counterattack launched. Not weapons in any traditional sense, but capsules containing the most dangerous substance humanity had ever created, compressed human creativity. Art, music, poetry, even internet memes, all condensed into information bombs designed to overload the void's ordered mind. The effect was immediate. Where the capsules detonated, space itself seemed to scream. The void recoiled, its perfect order disrupted by Jackson Pollock paintings and Beethoven symphonies, by Shakespeare's chaos and humanity's beautiful madness. It's working. Someone shouted in Earth Command. The anomaly is destabilizing. But Sarah knew better. This was just the beginning. The void had tested their defenses, found them stronger than expected. Now it would adapt, evolve, find new ways to impose its terrible order. She looked at the star map, at all the red zones where civilizations had once thrived. The Krell homeworld, the Dominion's capital, the garden worlds of the ethereals, all silent now. But Earth still burned blue on the map, defiant and alive. "Let it come," she whispered. "We've faced worse odds." As if hearing her challenge, the void surged forward. The real battle was about to begin. But humanity had something the other races hadn't possessed, the willingness to face the abyss and spit in its eye. The stars might go silent, but humanity would ensure their defiance echoed through eternity. Even if Earth fell, even if the solar system burned, they would make such a noise in their ending that the universe itself would remember. The first phase was over. The void had announced itself, and humanity had answered. Now came the test that would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of chaos itself in an increasingly ordered universe. Sarah activated the global broadcast system. Her voice reached every human from Earth to the asteroid belt. "This is Commander Chen. The enemy has shown itself. It wants to silence us, to make us like all the others. Quiet, orderly, gone. But we are humanity. We are the species that looked at an uncaring universe and decided to care anyway. We are the ones who see impossible odds and ask, is that all?" She paused, feeling the weight of billions of eyes upon her. "Today, we don't just fight for Earth. We fight for the right to be chaotic, to be different, to be gloriously, defiantly human. And if this void thinks it can silence us..." She smiled, cold and sharp. "It's about to learn why the rest of the galaxy calls us the crazy ones." The screens across Earth lit up with a new message. Operation Pandemonium. Active. Humanity had made its choice. While the galaxy ran, they would stand. While others surrendered to order, they would champion chaos. The void wanted silence. Then humanity would give it a war cry that would shake the foundations of reality itself. The battle for existence had begun. The Last Stand Protocol. The void's second wave hit Europa first. Jupiter's moon, home to humanity's deep space research station, simply vanished. No explosion, no debris field. One moment it was there, the next it wasn't. 3,000 scientists, gone in an instant. Admiral Walker stood rigid in Earth Command, watching the readings. time from first contact to erasure. 4.7 seconds, reported Captain Lisa Park, the general's daughter and Earth's finest tactical analyst. It's learning our defenses, adapting faster than predicted. Sarah Chen gripped the command rail. Then we adapt faster. Activate the Prometheus protocol. Across Earth, ancient faults opened. Buried beneath mountains, hidden under ocean trenches, scattered across the dark side of the moon. Humanity's deepest secrets emerged into the light. Technologies too dangerous for peacetime, weapons banned by the Galactic Council, experiments that violated the laws of physics themselves. Ma'am, Lieutenant Martinez hesitated. The Prometheus weapons, we don't fully understand them. The archaeological team that found them said. I know what they said, Sarah cut him off. That they're not entirely human in origin. That they're older than our civilization. That they might be connected to whatever's attacking us. She turned to face him. Do you have a better option? He shook his head. The first Prometheus installation came online in Antarctica. The Ross Shield, they called it, a massive crystalline structure that had been found buried under 2 miles of ice, perfectly preserved after millennia. As power flowed through its alien geometries, it began to sing, a haunting tone that made reality itself vibrate. Dr. Volkov watched the readings with a mixture of awe and terror. It's creating a quantum resonance field. The void won't be able to phase through it like it did our conventional shields. How do you know? Admiral Walker asked. Alina's smile was uncertain. Because according to these inscriptions, this weapon was specifically designed to fight something like the void, by humans, 40,000 years ago. The implications hung heavy in the air. Humanity had faced this enemy before, and somehow, impossibly, they had survived. The void responded to the Ross Shield's activation with fury. The distortion in space contracted, then exploded outward, racing toward Earth at impossible speed. It struck the shield with the force of a collapsing star. The Ross installation held. For the first time, the void had been stopped cold. The entity writhed against the barrier, reality warping and screaming where it made contact. But the ancient human weapon held firm, its crystalline structure glowing with increasing intensity. Then something unexpected happened. The Ross shield began transmitting. Not to Earth Command, but to sites across the planet. Other Prometheus installations responded, awakening from their long slumber. The Sahara Spear, the Mariana Core, the Siberian Cage, all coming online in a synchronized network that no modern human fully understood. It's automatic, Dr. Volkov breathed. They're linking up, forming a global defense grid. This isn't just a shield. It's a weapon system. The void recoiled as energy lanced out from the Antarctic installation. Where the beam struck, space itself seemed to heal, the distortion smoothing out like wrinkles being ironed from fabric. The entity's scream, felt rather than heard, echoed through every human mind. But with the scream came images. Memories not their own flooded human consciousness. A Earth different yet familiar. Cities that touched the clouds. Ships that sailed between stars. And a war, a terrible war against an enemy that sought to impose perfect order on a chaotic universe. Sarah gasped as the visions filled her mind. She saw herself, not herself, but someone wearing her face, standing on the bridge of a ship that dwarfed anything humanity had built. She was giving orders, coordinating a defense that spanned star systems. The cycles, she whispered. It's happened before, multiple times. Admiral Walker nodded grimly. Every 40,000 years, give or take. Humanity rises, fights this thing, wins, and then forgets. Deliberately. Why? Lisa Park asked. Why would we choose to forget? The answer came from the Prometheus network itself. As the installations linked, they began broadcasting data directly into human minds. The truth was worse than any of them had imagined. The void wasn't an invader. It was a cleaner, a universal force of order that arose whenever chaos grew too strong. And humanity, creative, unpredictable, beautifully chaotic humanity, was chaos incarnate. Every time they reached the stars, every time they spread their influence too far, the void awakened to restore balance. The only way to survive was to forget, to reset, to hide their true nature until they were strong enough to fight again. We're not just fighting for our survival, Elena realized. We're fighting for the right to exist as we are. The void sees us as a cosmic error that needs correction. The entity pressed harder against Earth's defenses. Mars fell next, its colonies wiped clean in moments. The asteroid belt followed, turned to nothing but empty space. But still the Prometheus network held, drawing power from sources that modern science couldn't explain. Then came the message, not from the void, but from the network itself. A recording left by the last humans to face this threat. The hologram that appeared in Earth Command was unmistakably human, but wearing clothing and technology beyond their understanding. The woman spoke in a language that their brains translated automatically. To our descendants, our echoes in time. If you're seeing this, then the cycle has turned again. The void has returned, and you must make the choice we made. Fight and forget, or surrender and cease to be. She paused, her ancient eyes holding infinite sadness. We chose to fight. We chose to live. But the cost is everything you are. Your history, your achievements, your very memories of the stars, all must be sacrificed to hide from the void sight until you're strong enough to face it again. The recording flickered, but we left you tools. The Prometheus weapons, the neural shields, and most importantly, the catalyst. When the time comes, when all seems lost, speak these words. We are the storm that breaks the silence. The hologram vanished, leaving stunned silence in its wake. Outside, the void contracted again, gathering strength for what everyone knew would be the final assault. The outer planets were gone. The asteroid colonies were memory. Only Earth and its moon remained, protected by technology from humanity's forgotten past. Sarah Chen straightened. All stations, prepare for catalyst activation. Whatever our ancestors left us, whatever price we have to pay, we pay it. We are humanity. We chose to fight before, and we choose to fight now. The Prometheus network pulsed with newfound energy. Deep beneath the Earth's crust, something vast began to stir. The catalyst, humanity's ultimate weapon against order itself. Dr. Volkov's readings went wild. Commander, the energy signatures. It's not a weapon in any conventional sense. It's us. The catalyst is human consciousness itself, amplified and weaponized. The realization was staggering. Their ancestors hadn't just built weapons, they had transformed humanity into a weapon. Every human mind, every spark of creativity and chaos, linked and focused into a force that could wound the universe itself. The choice is ours, Admiral Walker said quietly. Activate the catalyst and fight, knowing we'll have to forget everything afterward, or surrender and let the void erase us completely. Sarah looked around Earth Command, at the faces of people who would become family. Lysa Park, standing tall despite her fear. Martinez, young but unwavering. Dr. Volkov, her mind racing with possibilities. All of them ready to sacrifice everything for the chance to exist. Begin the countdown, she ordered. In 5 minutes, we activate the catalyst. Win or lose, we do it as humans, chaotic, stubborn, and absolutely refusing to go quietly. As the countdown began, humanity prepared for its greatest gambit. The void pressed closer, reality itself beginning to fray at the edges. But within the Prometheus network, within every human heart, a storm was building. They were the children of chaos, the champions of disorder, the species that looked at a universe demanding conformity and said no. In 4 minutes, they would remind the cosmos why. The last stand protocol was active. The catalyst was charging. And humanity, for perhaps the 1000th time across forgotten cycles, prepared to rage against the dying of the light. The next few minutes would determine whether the stars would know silence, or if they would ring with humanity's defiant roar for another 40,000 years. The countdown continued. 3 minutes. 2. 1. Sarah Chen spoke the words that would echo through eternity. We are the storm that breaks the silence. The catalyst activated, and the universe itself held its breath.